We were on a major label for almost 10 years. We started having tension with the label, but it wasn't particularly acute. It wasn't like we had these major fights. It was basically like they need to know what causes record sales, and we don't particularly care about record sales. Record sales aren't particularly relevant today. Like judging a band's success by how many records they sell is like judging, you know, IBM's success by how many fax machines they sell. It's just like, it's not the relevant metric anymore. When we would think we were doing really well, they wouldn't see success at all. And what they cared about in terms of record sales, we didn't care about at all. So it was a pretty amicable parting of ways when you know, we finally said, like, look, if you don't want to pay the budgets to make this or that or whatever, why don't you give us the record back and we'll just go our own way. They let us do it, which is very kind of them. I mean, most major labels never let a band walk away with their album. And we went looking for outside sponsors for our project. It was rough going at first. Rock bands don't generally sort of walk up to corporations and go like, I want to make a music video. And the corporations almost never say yes to that. But there were a few early risk takers that helped us make videos early on. And when we got tens of millions of hits on those videos, they realized it was a good return on their investment in terms of getting eyeballs to their cause, to their logo, to their brand. Generally, if we want to make the thing we want to make, we have to take the initial risk. Like we have to decide, we're going to put up the money to get partway there so we can show everybody what it is we're trying to make. And hopefully we find somebody to help pay for it along the way. Dogs, come here. Dogs, Dora, come. Good girl. Good girl. We don't look at a video as, you know, a specific return on investment type box. You know, you can't look at it and go like, you know, you feed the dog this much food and it shits that much money. The reason music videos existed in the first place was advertisements for recordings. A major label would pay a filmmaker to go make an ad for the song. Nowadays, music videos work very differently, obviously. MTV isn't the main outlet for them, and you can't really judge them on whether or not they're selling records. It's sort of their own art form, and for the most part, bands kind of have to go out there and figure out how to make them themselves because major labels don't have the money to pay for them anymore. One of the sort of catchphrases in marketing right now is all about you know, brands not sponsoring things, they collaborate in things. We don't just pay for media, we make media, and it's a great sentiment, but you also have to remember that there are people out there that have worked their entire lives trying to like figure out how to make a film, how to make a TV show, or how to make a rock video, or how to make a song. And it's not likely that the people who have taken the sort of relatively safe route and worked at an ad agency are actually better filmmakers than all of the struggling filmmakers out there. It's not likely that they're better rock and rollers than all the struggling rock and rollers out there. But they do have a whole different set of opportunities, and they do have a different set of sophisticated skills around getting things made and negotiating the marketplace in which things are consumed. So you really can have a great relationship between artists and brands as long as you set it up in such a way that people are doing what they're best at doing. The brand needs to use the opportunity to create a brief for an artist. You know, not be prescriptive but descriptive. Say, we need something that gets this done. Can you work with this? Can you work with a car? Can you work with this situation? Can you work with these set of people? Can you work with this technology? And then let the artist actually be inventive in that space. At least for myself and almost every creative person I know, creative boundaries are what define or what could cause your best ideas. A blank canvas is overwhelming, but knowing I got to connect this thing, and I need some great idea in between. That's when the sparks fly, and that's when you come up with something great. The video we made with Chevy is a great example because there's no way we could have afforded the resources flat out to build a 2-mile course in the desert and take stunt driving lessons and spend a month out there playing this massive robotic instrument. But that's just the resource side. As a rock band, you can't sit there and be like, okay, what we would do with a Super Bowl commercial. I mean, that's not a thought you can have until Goodby Silverstein or GM have come to you with a set of parameters. What would you do with a car? You know, when somebody says, what would you do with a car, and any self-respecting artist will have a good idea. If they come to you and say, dear artist, here's a car and we want you to do this and this and this and this and this, you just walk away because that's boring. Everybody wants something viral. And the reason is, I mean, it's how we live. When agencies and brands want some presence in social space, or they want something that goes viral, it's not the mechanics of viral sharing that they care about. It's just eyeballs. It's where all the eyeballs are now. And obviously there's no simple formula, but the simplest one I could offer is that you make something that makes people happy. You know, something with a sense of joy or wonder or surprise. If it made you happy, you probably want to make your friends happy by sharing it with them. We were working on a video with Palabla's Dance Theater already, and my sister Trish C. It was a dance video shot from under a glass table. We were trying to come up with a single shot dance routine where flipping the perspective gives you all these new sort of tricks you can do. During the process of making the video, Google Japan approached us and said, what would you do with the multi-screen capabilities in HTML5? We want to promote Chrome, their new browser. So again, they gave us a canvas, they gave us a brief, and we could say, like, this thing we're working on, would anything be added to it? Could it become more interesting if we did it on multiple screens? And it completely changed the way we approached the project, and it made it much more interesting and much more interesting of a challenge for us. YouTube asked me to come speak on a panel at Cannes this year during the Cannes Lions Festival, and I didn't realize there were awards associated with the festival. I didn't know anything about the festival. I thought it was a film festival, and it turns out it's the advertising festival. And when I got there, I realized that two of our projects from last year were up for various awards, and we won 7 Lions, and it was amazing. Being given awards that I didn't even know existed was pretty surreal. It gives you a sense of how crossed over these worlds are becoming, that you can be in a rock band and win advertising awards. Rather than say that advertising isn't advertising, it's marketing, and marketing isn't marketing, it's storytelling, just embrace it. There's lots of agendas that can all fit in the same sphere. Any product we use is already going to be there. Might as well figure out a way to make the relationship between us and that product actually part of the lifeblood of the thing. It can help pay for it. It can help expand its reach and expand the type of opportunities we have.
Let's do the chalk thing.
I could try to plan this out and make it better, or we could just wing it and see what happens, although it might suck. So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to make? Well, you go to the chalkboard. I'm about to draw you all possible cultural ideas. This white square is every cultural idea that has ever or will ever be created. This blue area, this is the performing arts. The yellow triangle within performing arts, that's music. Music. The green square within performing arts, that's film. Television, the blue circle, that crossed over with film a fair amount. And it may have also actually crossed over with music a fair amount also. Along comes sort of lightish orange color called the internet. Internet covers all sorts of stuff that you couldn't do before. It expands what you can think of as music because you're not stuck on a CD anymore. Now music can be like this big yellow triangle. This is new music. Now TV is a much bigger circle. This is new TV. And look at all these crossovers. What is this interesting area? This is where everyone's trying to work, but people, I'm telling you, you should work in red. Don't try to work just where music covers television. Work out here. What's new? What's new that's both close to music and close to TV? Maybe even overlaps with film. What is red? Work in pinkish red. Problem is, people look for a new space like pinkish red, and they go right to the edge of tan. which is the internet. They go right up to the edge of the internet and they say, this is clearly a new space, I should work there. No people, tan is novelty. The edge of the internet, it might have new possibilities, it also might just be a temporary thing because next year the internet is going to be here. Understood? So if you work right here on the edge of tan, you might just get this sort of nasty brown color. This nasty brown color is something that you're able to do because a new phone, you have to read that upside down, has allowed for it. You can do something new here on this new phone territory right now, but if it's not interesting, then you're stuck just like off in the middle of nowhere doing nothing interesting at all. So avoid novelty. Novelty is an ugly brown color. For us, it's always been a game of making enough cool shit that something we make can pay for the other things we make. And, you know, we make a little bit of money off of record sales. We make a little bit of money off of concerts. We make a little bit of money off of licensing. We make a little bit of money off of sponsorships of our videos. We make a little bit of money off of, you know, speaking engagements. We make a little bit of money in all sorts of places. And no, I don't live like Bono, and we don't, and we can't make, you know, multi-million-dollar investments in things. But I get to keep chasing creative ideas all the time, and not worrying about, you know, where I am in the radio charts.